All right, hello everyone. So this part of the tutorial is how to connect uh, OneProd Eagle, Acoem Eagle system with the NAS and how to configure the gateway so you can communicate with it and set it up using your computer. So the part that you will require for this, you will require your gateway. You will require a laptop where you can change your IP address. You will need the power injector. So the power injector should come in the box. It has two ports. One is written LAN. The other one is written PoE, power over Ethernet. You should have a power cord to connect it. You should have a magnet as well and two Ethernet cable. So the first thing you want to do is you need to find the name of your gateway. To do that, you will check under your gateway and there will be a MAC address, which is a bunch of numbers written one after the other. And you will take the last 6 digit and letters of this one. You can't see it, but this one is 001209. And as you can see here on the top on the P-Touch, this one is Eagle-001209. So this is the address of this gateway, so I can communicate with it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to connect the gateway to the power. So to do that, you will take your power over Ethernet, take one of the Ethernet cord, connect it to the power over Ethernet port, connect it on the back of the gateway. Then you can connect your power injector to the power grid. So this will power up the gateway, so it will provide power. And the next thing you need to do is connect the gateway to your, the power injector to your laptop. So using the second port, the LAN port, you can connect it right into your PC. Okay, so after connecting the gateway into the power and to the computer, the first thing you need to do is go into your network settings. So right click into your, here I have the Wi-Fi, but your network adapter, network and internet settings. And depending of what system you use, here I have an Ethernet connector, and I need to check my IP assignment. It needs to be on automatic DHCP like this one here. Or the second way you can do that is go into your control panel. So Windows key, control panel, then go and select your network and sharing center and change adapter setting on the left or click on Ethernet. So change adapter setting, your Ethernet, right click, properties, and then you need to scroll to Internet Protocol version 4 IP4. So properties, and here it is under automatic. Depending of your internet OS version, this could be different a little bit, but the main concept is that you need to be set on DHCP mode. All right, so when I'm in DHCP mode, I need to open my Google Chrome or Edge or whatever, your browser. Then you will type HTTP and eagle dash and the 6 digit that you just took from your gateway, and this will open the gateway. So mine connected automatically. So let me log out. So this would be the page that you would first log in. Oops, sorry about that. So to connect for the first time on your gateway, you go into Manager, and the password will be password1 with capital P and enter. So it will log in. Normally, the first thing you want to do is go into System and Network, and then you will change the network setting to fit your network environment. So ask your IT or the people in charge for a static IP address. So when you will connect the gateway on the network, it will have access to the server. So it will be able to communicate with the server, send, receive data from it. So get a static IP address, a subnet mask, and a gateway. So this will be provided by your IT team. So just set what you want here, as well as these two, and submit, and that will reboot your system. So let me do a full example of it. So I will write a static IP address. I will subnet mask, and I will place a gateway. There you go. And I will apply submit. And it will ask me if I want to reboot my gateway. I will say yes. So now the gateway is rebooting. It has a new IP address. So I need to redo the steps that I did just before. So I go back into control panel, network and sharing center. I can click on Ethernet here, priorities, IP4, and then I need to change my own IP address so I can be in the same network. Take note that my IP address is not exactly the same, and that's normal. I need my own, so I need to be able to communicate with the gateway. So by changing my IP address here, when I will come back here in my web browser, I will communicate with my gateway by using its new name. So exactly like this. So now my gateway has a static IP address, and when it will be connected on the network of your plant, it will be accessible through the plant and to on the to the server. So once this gateway is installed in the field, so the next step normally is to check if you have communication with your sensor. So you can go into sensor network here. If your network is on off, sorry, click on Start Network. So this way it will start broadcasting. Go into Topology, and mine are already connected. So I have 4 sensor, 2 expander for this example. If you can't see nothing here, it's because your sensor might not be whitelisted. Um, so the next step would be to go into the Eagle tab here on top, click on Device Access, and then it will see a few. You might have a list here of different Eagles, and they need to be whitelisted. So you need to select them here on the right and click Add, so they will be transferred into the whitelist. So now they can be connected. They can connect to your gateway. All right. So this stage can take a few minutes. Uh, remember that if you connect for the first time, you might need to reboot the Eagles. And to do that, you need to take a magnet and rub it on the top of the Eagle. So on the either the black top, so the sensor, or the blue top, which are the expanders. So by putting a magnet on the top, it will reboot the sensor, and then it will restart the pairing to the gateway, and they will show like this. All right. So the next step after that, of course, you can go and take a look at the node info to see if your communication strength is enough to get the data. You can find more information on what are the range that these two values should be to get good result. They are in the manual. I will put the screenshot here. Uh, And after that, the next step would be to call your Eagle gateway to your server, so to your NES software. So here you need to uh, put your server IP address and the port used by the Eagles, which by default is 4513. So the server names, which is this laptop, is this IP address. In your case, it might be another IP address, so the distant server. It could be a secure connection, so it could send encrypted data. If you did install a certificate and so on, you can check that. If you didn't, leave it unchecked. And test connection. And after, let me check. I might need to put these value. Oh, sorry, I did a mistake. It's 122, my IP address, my bad. There you go. So my IP address is 192.168 88 and dot 122, and then it sees that the gateway is declared in my database. All right, so the next step is to open your Nest software on the server and log in. I will log in using my administrative rights, and then I will go into, so you can change your database. So in which database you want to connect this gateway. So if you go into Instrument and Eagle Gateway, um, you should be able to see. I will. Okay. Oh, there you go. It was just a little refresh. So it showed here after a few refresh. Sorry about that. So you can see that the Eagle 001 to 09 is available, so it's not used. So and it should be available for each database. So I can change database and then I will connect it to one of my database. So I choose B1 just because, and then I will click connect. So now this gateway is connected to my B1 database, and then it's locked. It won't be available for other database to connect to it. Here I'll have the sensor list. So I have my 4 sensors that are available. These number on top here match this number on the serial number on the top of each sensor. It's the end of the MAC address, so you have it there. So if I hit save here, now I have another database, a gateway connected to database number 1 with 4 sensors available. Normally, the next step would be to create a machine and connect some sensors to that machine so it will be monitored. So to do that, you go into Setup Machine. You can create, if you go into your asset hierarchy, you can create a new location. Let's name it Test at Office. Oops, Office designation. Today's test. I can put a picture, well, etc. So if I hit save, I have a new location called Test at Office. I will click Manage New Machine Eagle, because this is a machine that will be monitored with Eagle. I will create a 4-point machine. It will be a pump. So let's call this machine pump 123. You can put a designation, so water feed pump or salt water or whatever type of pump it is. Model number, serial number, different type. You can also apply to it a criticality. And the next step is to go into a schematic. And for now, we'll leave these open, but not open, but untouched. So I will just drag and drop whatever my machine is the schematic of my machine is. And the first thing I will do is I will select each of these monitoring points. So I have 4 sensors available. and I will use it on this pump. So I will activate my point non-drive in, my motor drive in. So I will use this place. I will also activate number 3 and number 4. And my Eagle sensor are triaxial sensors. So I will keep the triaxial active. If I had mono-axis eagles, I would need to uncheck the axis that I don't need. So if I would only monitor the horizontal axis, I will just leave the horizontal checked. But mine are triaxial, so I'll leave them like this. Click on your electric motor component. You will need to enter two different values. So the HP of your motor and the running speed of your motor. So let's say it's 100 HP at 1785. You Next step is to go into strategy, and you can change this strategy. So the way it works is that uh, you have two different strategy of two different type of measurement that you can capture with the Eagle. So it could be only the overall level. So let's say that you want overall level every hours, but once a day, it will also take the full signal. So it will also take the spectrum or the time waveform or the envelope that you did program. You can also select store signal on aggravating alarm status change. If you check that on every hour, so on every time that it goes and check its overall level, if one of the overall level is an alarm, it will also take the signal, even if it's more than once a day. This is why this box is here. Next step is the measurement. For this example, I've put the Acrex mode. So the Acrex creates for me my monitoring parameters. So it creates all my velocity threshold and the parameters, so settings. So let's the dynamic, not dynamic range, but frequency range that it needs to filter. Same thing for the overall acceleration peak to peak, and the three spectrum needed for is auto diagnosis. So the low frequency spectrum with high resolution, medium frequency spectrum with a little bit higher resolution, a little bit less resolution than the low frequency, but still a good resolution, and the high frequency up to 20 kilohertz with low resolution but very high frequency range. All right. The next and the last step will be to go into the connection tab. And once into the connection tab, you need to pair each monitoring point to with the sensor. So I will select my non-drive sensor, and here I have a list of available Eagle sensor from the gateway 001209. If you have more than one gateway, you can change your gateway here. And let's say that my sensor 41A7 is connected on my non-drive end, then I need to precise the orientation of the sensor. So here in this example here, the x-axis of the sensor, so the x-axis is written on the sensor, is parallel to the shaft of the bearing. And the sensor is mounted vertically. You could have a horizontally mounted sensor or an axially mounted sensor, and the x-axis can be pointing in different orientation. So just select the right sensor position, and you need to connect. So 3-axis is available, so it did automatically match the 3-axis with the sensor position, and you do that for the three other points. So it's quite easy. Select point 2, select your second sensor, select its position, connect, and etc. Oops. All right. Once the connection mapping is done, the next step is only to, well, you can go into the different tabs and add photos or documents. So it's prettier, and you can keep more data into your
equipment. But after normally the connection, you can click on save, and it asks you if you want to start the acquisition. So I click yes, and the it's you can see at the bottom here that the monitoring configuration is sent to the gateway, and now it is starting its acquisition. To double check if the acquisition is working on your gateway, so if the gateway received the right configuration, you can go back into your browser and go into monitored equipment, and you can see that it is monitoring pump 123. So as soon as it gets the data, so the signal, the overall, it will send back all the data to the server, and you'll be able to do analysis. So if I wait here quite a long time, I will. Okay, so after a few minutes of waiting and refreshing, um, so 6 minutes, I got some values. So here you can see that it did download all the overall values, the temperature of my sensor. It already has a few spectrum that I can check and do my analysis of. But yeah, if you leave it a little bit more time, it will keep downloading all the signal and everything, and it will periodic, periodically take its reading. So that's it. That's how you connect Eagle system and start an acquisition with the Eagle system. Have a great day.